Hello friends, welcome to the channel.
Today I find myself in a slightly unusual setting. You're not used to seeing me here or doing this kind of thing. I thought I would make some vlogs for you sometimes from time to time during trips. Right now, today, I am currently in Pakistan in a small lost village about 2 hours from the capital. And I'm going to show you a little bit how people drive here. I'm going to show you a little bit the cars, the car culture, the motorcycle culture. 3 people on a motorcycle, 2 people, we shop here with this. This is what it looks like. I'll take you for a short ride. I'm here for a few days due to family reasons. And I thought it could be very nice to let you discover this, so I'm going to take you with this camera in hand like this. Vlog a bit, I never do it, but you might like it. Let me know in the comments if you're interested. Let me introduce you to Islamabad and its neighboring city, Rawalpindi. We are in the small village of Altala. This is what it looks like. Take you for a quick tour, and then we're gonna go into town to see what it is. Are you ready? Let's go. So I'm taking you there. I'm taking you to the mosque all the way down there. And to be able to see that it's quite polluted today, and normally we're supposed to see mountains. So here I am at the end of Islamabad. That's the mosque, which is the second largest mosque in Pakistan, since the first one is in Lahore. This is the one I'm showing you, where I had already been a few years ago, which is just beautiful. And also this one. So this one, it's the 8th largest mosque in the world. The one in Lahore, it's the 7th largest mosque in the world. Pakistan is a very Muslim country, so we make beautiful mosques. If I'm not mistaken, wasn't it someone from the Middle East who had it built here? In fact, it is really from the capital, so the mountains here, there is no city. Clearly then, you have to go totally into the mountains. The Himalayas begin right behind me, then extend all the way there, and we're going to descend in that direction. We're going to Case 2, which is the second highest peak in the world, located in Kashmir. So, a region between India and Pakistan that are a bit in dispute, but it seems to me that Case 2 is really located in Pakistan. At the time, it was very well known for tourism and for the climbers who came here because they wanted to train before heading to Everest, located further away in the Himalayas. But basically, the range starts here, and basically we have the whole part then, which is shared with India, Nepal, China, etc. and Russia a little bit higher. So, I wanted to show you this part of the city anyway, because this is one of the most famous places. Islamabad is simply divided into square-shaped sections. I drove 20 kilometers straight down the street that leads here. And actually you have sectors that go A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H, I, J, and so it goes like that. And then, in numbers, it's F1, F2, F3, F4, F5, F6, etc. And it works like that, actually, the division of Islamabad. Next to it is Rawalpindi, the oldest city, where I'll take you right after. But I wanted you to discover this magnificent monument right here, which is also a tourist attraction for Pakistanis. On the highway, it's common to be driving a large, powerful car. Well, no worries. And to stop on a motorcycle on the side. There, we are on a 5-lane road. And there you have it. What I love most is eating. It's still more family-oriented. You know, in France, sometimes we question the hygiene standards. Here, the meat is sold like this. You can see that the butcher shop is right on the street, really everywhere. And what's quite funny is that the summer here goes up to 50 degrees. And by 50 degrees, when you see the meat like this while I was eating it at the time, you can just see little shoes or bags with butcheries right in the middle. And actually the people here, they hold up. They clearly don't have the same immune system as us. You buy your meat there with the cars, motorcycles, and everything that passes by. And you really hear all the noise all the time. Same. Villages often experience power outages, especially in summer when air conditioners consume a lot of electricity, leading to insufficient supply. So most of them have small generators. And there, for example, to buy your meat and this kind of thing, it's still quite special, but there you go, you can see goat heads. And just next to it, a small pastry shop. It's quite funny. And this is really the kind of little bazaar where you can find really everything you need. And there you have it. There are 3-wheeled vehicles like that. There are numerous small motorcycles from the 70s, such as 70 cc's, 100 and 125. We're not used to that at home in France or even in Europe. And what you need to know is that here, the helmet is not mandatory, so the helmet is only mandatory in big cities. But in the countryside, everyone totally doesn't care. There are little tuk-tuks, of course. That's really the thing that everyone uses right here. This is a normal little street. It's the usual traffic here. There are really motorcycles everywhere, cars, everyone can believe it. It crosses everywhere. And what is also quite funny is to see how electricity is managed here. So I don't know if you see up there, for example, but what does the electricity look like up there? There are wires on wires on wires on wires. There, we have lots of phone shops, lots of motorcycles parked everywhere. And clearly, here, if you don't have a motorcycle, it's really very difficult to get around. In rural areas, large cars are often impractical but remain popular.
There are really motorcycles everywhere, and you can buy little things like that.
It's worth 10 rupees, and 10 rupees, it's absolutely nothing for us.
And the thing is, the difference in rates is really incredible.
Yesterday, I exchanged 200 euros.
I was with someone who was with me, and he looked at me in a certain way.
I told him it's me, it's for a few days. He said no, but it's huge. And basically the salary here, he is a bus driver. He earns about 100 euros per month, and he works about 27 days for 100 euros. There are people, such as the cleaning ladies and others. They earn about 40 euros per month. Or people who can work at your place, they earn about 50 euros per month.
They work 24 hours a day at your place, and they do the cleaning, cooking, etc.
Just to give you an idea, but there you go, there are buses and that. It's really the routine here, so much noise, health, pollution, etc. And you have to be a little careful with your buttocks. Small product bought locally, the Apple term samosas.
So we buy if it foams that.
It cost us 210 rupees, knowing that 1 euro is 290 rupees today.
Yours, I love it. It's so good. There's this, it's what they call populated. It's a kind of fried thing like this. It's so good. I love it.
And what I prefer is what they call the chicken tikka boneless. It's tikka barbecue chicken. It's too good, the boneless without bones, just pleasure. Among the local culture, the donkey, which is the favorite means of transportation.
Here, it worked a lot. We still find quite a few in the countryside, and a little one.
A little thing also in weddings here in Pakistan, there is that. In fact, I don't know if you see, but in fact it's filled with bills. These are 100 rupee notes. In fact, depending on your means, you can put 10 rupee notes, 50 rupees. There's a variety of options to suit everyone's preferences. This is what we use to decorate around newlyweds during weddings here. And basically people come to take notes. It looks like this. We are in the small streets here.
This is a small bazaar, also known as a souk in some countries.
Here we call it bazaars, and in fact it's really a bit of a mess.
There's really everything everywhere. It looks like this, and you can have clothes. And what is done a lot here, it's all custom made. You choose your fabric, specify your size, and provide your measurements.
They make for women your dresses, for men your clothes, and look, it really looks like this, the Pakistani clothes. For men, and basically everyone wears this here. In fact, I am almost the outsider with my boxing sweatshirt, the belt, my pants, and my sneakers. Same everyone. The small leather shoes, it's quite rare. Those who really dress in the European way, because they say Western here. This is a traffic where it's very, very fluid today.
There, it's going really well. There's really no one.
Usually it's absolutely jammed everywhere. Now it's very calm.
Here, it's very common to get in the back of cars, buses, or other vehicles.
Friends, here are buses that are used to transport people. You can all over the country.
That's quite funny, that is.
Majid, it goes like Majid. A bus driver asked if I wanted to drive a bus. I thought it could be fun, maneuvering around here in a bus. The trucks and buses in Pakistan are known for being highly decorated, which is a very characteristic feature of the country's transport vehicles. Sometimes there are poems or similar writings that are marked, but I admit I can't read them at all. Mazda, I think it's a Mazda, but what's great is that it's heavily modified. He really checked everything out, and it was funny. I think he asked if I really wanted to try, and I thought to myself, why not? We're going to see that one too. It's green. They have quite funny colors. So there, I think he has friends, him in there, and
We're going to see if we can go up on that side. Alright, let's go. We're going to see how to get on a bus. We open the handle, you would see the thing and look there. The interior decor is just stunning. The keys, yes, I have absolutely no idea how it's driven, but there's really decor everywhere.
so you can get on here. I'm getting on.
Ah, the size of this thing. So look at me, I'm tall enough to get on here. It's really not easy. The steering wheel, I don't know though, driving this all day, I don't know if it adjusts or not.
I'm unsure of the exact mileage, but it must be over 1 million kilometers. Can you imagine driving it? Personally, there are things that bother me everywhere about it.
Right at the door, it looks like something from a fortress. It's sturdy, there are switches. Like at home, this must be the thing for the music. A lot of music. You have a lot of people. We go for a ride. Am I going to drive a bus? It'll be fun. So here, the gearbox.
Accelerator.
They're making fun of me. It's quite funny.
Second. The name. No, the accelerator.
The accelerator, it's my baby. It's definitely challenging, and the engine stalling constantly doesn't help. Start or no?
No, the accelerator. What is accelerator? Brake.
It really needs to heat up. It must be a good old diesel. We start in second gear. I'm in first gear. The thing really, because I don't know how to tell us that.
They also drive recklessly, which is utterly senseless.
Every time I drive a bus, it's huge.
People are looking at me. It shocks me. I drive a bus in Pakistan. It's quite funny. I should try smaller ones afterwards.
There we go. It started. Up there?
Yes, I do.
Let's go.
Oh my god.
I don't know how they do it. It's really not easy.
That's the blinker from here.
The brakes require firm pressure, yet the car still stalled.
And everyone here is a driver. Well, I don't know how they do it, but it must be quite funny to cross the country like that. There's also something that's impressive. It's the incredible contrast between, for example, you see that those are houses, small villages, and the people who have succeeded well, they build themselves gigantic houses.
And like that, we can see in that it's a part into that.
It's, for example, that of the neighbor with a small piece of garden, which is still quite rare here. Like this and there, we are really in a small village.
There are many mosques in the area, with several located nearby.
Since religion is a very important part of the culture, since it is also called the Islamic Republic of Pakistan.
But here, for example, in a small village, and we can see it from this side again, an old-fashioned house.
The sewers, which pass directly in the street, have evolved over time. This is what they look like now.
What consistently impresses is what we can trace, which truly develops a nation. It reveals the contrast between those who are impoverished and those just beginning.
And that's nothing, because in the capital, houses are even worth several million euros.
The minimum wage here is about 50 euros per month, revealing a significant disparity.
Come on, for today 4, I found 4. Are we gonna find better? The most I saw at the time was this person. Well, this time I find myself in a more normal car, including a small Kia Sportage here. And that's it, it looks like. The traffic then.
You have to navigate between pedestrians, motorcycles, cars, people coming in the opposite direction.
It's quite colorful.
And those who tell me the Champs-Élysées roundabout, all that, it's not easy, I swear, you have no idea. And now I find myself in this small village.
Even here we can see these kinds of small cars and other flies. That until now it's still quite easy.
I'm gonna try to take you to cities where you're going to see it's really very folkloric there. Up to now that it's a simple routine. He's there going about quietly with not much happening. You'll see soon.
Even on the highway, there are trucks that are reversing. On the highway, there are trucks that are turning around. There are people going the wrong way.
There can also be cows wandering around on the highway. I've already seen a guy with a donkey in his cart. Left lane.
On the highway, right lane here, full speed. On the fast lane, well, the fastest lane. You can imagine the mess it is, but that's funny.
So, needless to say, when I drive in France, I'm really happy.
And I can tell you that it's very, very easy at our place. There we arrive, we are on a big national road.
There's a pedestrian crossing up there, but people like to cross a little bit in the middle.
Anywhere, it overtakes on the left, on the right, the horn, it's mandatory here, the truck's left, right, we can park a little bit anywhere, and the same, a little bit sort of bizarre everywhere.
That's a car where everyone gets in, maybe up to 10 people in the back. I'm in my little Sportage.
And this is roughly what the roads in Islamabad look like. So there are several types of neighborhoods in Islamabad.
But what I really like is that we all have, and what do we call it, the central part in black and orange, which are painted everywhere.
The country is still developing, with ongoing construction and the presence of trees and other elements. Even if there are places where I'm going to take you, you'll see. It's really very old, but there are many parts, in fact, that are developing since the population continues to grow.
It's currently the 5th most populated in the world, and the middle class is actually becoming a little more democratized.
Previously, there was an extremely large gap.
There were really very rich people, while there were very few and really poor people who were really a lot.
Gradually, he started noticing an increasing number of middle-class and wealthy individuals.
I admit there are more, as it's not a given.
And for example, there are plenty of secure neighborhoods like that. So now we're entering a neighborhood called Dick's Hatchet.
And basically, there is police everywhere. There are really kinds of controllers. In fact, it's a kind of city within the city. And that actually allows to have areas where it's very controlled.
For example, we can see here that there was an armed gentleman and others. And that's what we find quite generally everywhere.
In some neighborhoods, each person has their own guard in front of their house. This also proves the point to some extent.
You are rich in Pakistan, and it's good to have your guard. Just like a driver and others. A driver, for example, is paid about 60,000 rupees per month to drive you.
Boss there every day.
It's the equivalent of 17 liters of gasoline to have a driver at least. It's
not bad, right? There, for example, I just joined what is called Islamabad Expressway. So in fact, you see I have two there, and two more lanes next to it, there.
This is the lane to merge here and then, which is very good in Pakistan.
So what they did is lanes for trucks. So there are two lanes for trucks.
There, for example, I should have slipped between the two, but there, for example, it's on the slow lane for trucks.
There are many metallic objects in the center, causing aggressive sensations when passing over it.
And I'm going to put on the lane, me, faster on this side.
And there you go, and so there, it's straight ahead.
For 20 kilometers, I set up a global positioning system, the 20 kilometers really straight ahead, without any turns, up to the mountains, all the way down there. So now I'm getting to Rawalpindi, which is a bit older. You'll find many merchants on the side selling valves at low prices. Go inside.
I think it was for around 10 rupees at the time.
It takes you from one point to another, a kind of bus. And these people drive absolutely like psychopaths. You can see the motorcycles driving in the wrong direction.
Sometimes there are cars too. You can find a little bit of everything. The truck that doesn't stay in its lane. The trucks here are also overloaded.
He's not going to let me pass. He doesn't want to let me pass here.
You really have to force a UP. Look at this, the motorcycle that's going to run over the kids, up, and there were only 3 on it.
It's still okay then to have trucks parked the wrong way and all.
Here. We can also overtake on the left. We overtake wherever we want a truck. That's his life. The horn, it's a bit of a staple in the country too. Over there and there, it's still apart. Very nice.
The roads in this highly populated country are quite large, which is fortunate.
And I don't know if you're going to see in the truck up there are people sleeping up there. They are lying on the bags.
So that cracks me up every time I see that. And us, we talk about safety.
There are even guys above still. Look up there, hop, hello. It's always the quite fun thing.
As seen here and in many Asian countries, the relationship with safety is vastly different. Me, I put on my seatbelt. I was almost insulted when I got in with someone and I put on my seatbelt. He looked at me, asked, "Why are you doing that?" I said, "Well, safety, the basis of media in Pakistan, does not do."
But I tell him, in fact, what you need to understand is that I do it for my safety. It's not to please or anything else. We can see the little puppies there, that too. I'm trying to take a walk. I have a little bit further, really, to delve into the city, to clearly show what the true is. And I'm trying to take a walk.
Puppy.
Friends just took a little walk.
Let's go up. Come on, hop in. We're taking a little ride in this luxurious puppy.
Since it's winter, a small voucher allowance. Here's how it happens.
Small steering wheel here. It's pretty good. We could have gone up to 4 or 6. We can go up to 6 here. There's even a small mirror here. If you want to see yourself, it's pretty cool even sometimes that you are over there.
It's quite funny. It's the gentleman who is looking at me. It's quite funny. I'm going to give him a few rupees.
But basically this really doesn't cost much.
Some even ran on liquefied petroleum gas. I had to take my little tour.
If we call this the Aksha, but most Europeans call this a bit of a city tour.
You don't study much, Jackson. Hold on. We're approaching an intersection. Let's see how it goes.
We see that there are still really a lot of people. Small accelerator, a little pumper.
Is it... Have you already taken a little tour of this? I think this is where it's going to be the most fun.
It's coming from everywhere. We cross. Oh, I'm almost disappointed. It went too well. Much too fast.
And this too, it's the joke.
We went up to Mons even in a cross. There, it's valid. I did my little tour. I did a good deed. I'm going to give him about 10 hells, what it was worth, but more and more well.
Okay, go ahead. There's a C it can pass. There's a C, okay.
The whole country, huh?
And now it's time to get out of this mess a little bit.
When I say mess, it's just the name. It's called a mess.
I understand where the expression mess comes from. There are really people everywhere. I love it. In fact, it's really quite another culture. And in fact, it is. I find this feeling of I do what I want, I don't care. And well, I admit that it's really cool, very pleasant.
I was driving here at the age of, I don't know, like 10 years old. They let me drive what we were doing, a little bit what we wanted. Significant corruption occurred during that period. People were bribed with items like 100 batteries, worth about 30 cents today. And he was super happy we could do whatever we wanted. I am here, there, a little roundabout like that. I love it. In fact, it's super colorful, it's super lively, and in fact, it's like that. In the summer, it gets very hot in Islamabad and Rawalpindi, with temperatures reaching up to 50 degrees Celsius.
People enjoy the nightlife until 2 or 3 a.m. with everything open late. Essentially, everything remains closed for around 15 to 16 hours. They go out in the evenings until 2, 3 or 4 in the morning, living this lifestyle.
We are in a neighborhood where, in fact, the party's everywhere. It's full of alternators. There are whole engines. Everything comes to look for these little pieces there. I saw only shock absorbers and air conditioning units there. I say it was worth it, maybe, to go see like that and show you directly what it looks like.
Engines are everywhere. Everything is open and filled with oil. We can even see pistons down there.
Really, bit by bit.
Here we are in the neighborhoods where cars are being dismantled everywhere. People come here for minor bodywork, lifting cars and other repairs.
So I'm not sure they do painting there, but I'm sure they would be capable of doing it.
And it really does mechanics, even on the street.
For example, here you have ignition stuff. It's really everywhere, for all cars, all tastes, stuff for windows. You're in an area where they have everything and can dismantle it right there. They handle it quickly, even better than Fauvert or Midas. It's really direct on-site service. So there I was asking myself the question about ecology, all that. In Europe, we talk a lot about it here.
The hybrid, I don't think I've seen a single electric car.
Yet, it's a country where there are soon to be 300 million inhabitants. I think they are 260 million currently in France. We are 70.
But seeing the traffic in this kind of city shows the country is vast.
Some areas see no activity due to deserts, mountains and other factors, but where activity does occur, it's highly concentrated and leads to significant pollution.
Here, we don't see a bit of blue sky. There, it's not really blue. On camera, it comes out well, but because it's a bit tinted, otherwise it's really very grey here. And ecology. And where? I saw 2 Toyota Prius, which is very, very rare here, but the hybrid, etc.
I saw stores where MG was selling PHVs. There are very, very few of them.
I haven't seen any on the road so far, so only very, very rich people buy this just to tell their friends.
I have a plug-in hybrid car. Also, many people are installing solar panels, which makes sense. In Pakistan, it's sunny almost. 363 days out of 365.
There you see, it's a little bit folklore. There are people passing in front, behind, to the left, a cart. There is that. I must not crush the cart.
You have to have a good eye, you have to know your car, don't stress too much, it's good. And there, by the way, they built that.
It's actually to give the city some relief.
They did what they call the aerial metro. It goes everywhere at heights, it's buses, and it helps a little bit. It's much cheaper than buying a car, which still costs a lot here. To have a car and gas is not really given.
For us, it's as if it was less than €1 per litre, so it's nice.
But for the people here, it's really tough. Many rely on trucks and other vehicles. And actually, people drive a lot, so you have to be careful anyway.
But that's what leads me to question precisely about ecology and all. Is it really the subject in this kind of country? I don't think so at all.
I'm going to visit some friends, hoping they still work there. It's been a few years since I last visited.
Could I get out on the other side afterwards, whether he comes there or not? No, moving them wasn't an option, but I've arrived now.
That's my friend Rashid. It goes like Rashid. That's my camera seller here. He used to sell me Nikon equipment. There's a small shop here, and at Tamron there's Nikon, just next door. And there, very kindly, he invited me to have a little tea. How do you call this in Pakistani? Chai? Tea, what is it? It's tea and milk?
Yeah, tea, milk and pati.
What is pate?
Tea leaves, and a little bit of milk.
And this is it. It's really good. And this in Pakistan is really everywhere. It's very good. And a small fruitcake.
Thank you, Rashid.
That's very, very good, and it's always a pleasure to see some friends like that.
There's the police and they're towing some cars. You complain about how cars are towed in France? Here, when it's marked no parking, that's how they tow cars here, and no mercy.
He drops it off and takes it elsewhere to the impound lot.
Cars come in all varieties. I wasn't familiar with this particular Toyota model.
And next to it, would this be a real Jeep, or are there any experts among you? But it looks quite like it. You have this here. It really looks like those full Hollywood movies, which have this in the films. And in reality, it's stylish, so I don't know how to recognize a Jeep or not. What I love is with the little Coca-Cola bottle opener, it's huge. I've never tried it, but I know it appeals to quite a few people. It's really very, very cool with the big antenna there. Wow, I love my favorite place, an intersection here.
I love that. It's really a mess.
And sometimes there's the police who manage a little bit, but that's my favorite place. 4 people, 2 each time. It's quite funny. I love it. And listen to this sweet smell of horn, this sweet smell. The air is filled with the scent of gasoline, pollution, and other odors. It's quite specific. I adore it, and the horn is similar to the turn signal. Oh, we nearly saw an accident happen in real time.
But is it about who has the worst car or who is the strongest that wins every time? But I love it.
I could stay here for a little hour just observing. It's extraordinary.
Here, we cross the road right in the middle, trying to avoid getting hit. We hop, say thank you, and continue on our way. So this is typically what the houses in Islamabad look like and the cars that people like.
Here, it's always big houses, it's big villas.
In this country, we live a little differently, and especially when we have a little money, we have big houses.
I'm taking you to the street where I lived a few years ago. I was able to come back to that exact place.
There, it's this kind of house, so they are all a little bit stuck on each other.
We were fortunate to have a garden at the time, which was rare. Some work appears to be happening in the garden, but this is what it generally looks like. And I lived in this house that we called the White House. It was quite funny, and there it is. It was the house in which I lived. We had about 600 square meters, and at the time, it really wasn't worth much here.
And it was very designed, very modern.
So we had a large garden in front of it, and so we had all this garden area.
Which is very, very rare for Pakistan, and it makes me happy to see this house again.
We lived at 158 53 Street, Islamabad, Ouch and Fruit, and you can see there, in fact, it really looks like villas.
The other one is...
At the time, to give you an idea, we were paying about €1,000 a month for 600 square meters of living space.
Now, it has increased enormously. What you need to know is that the prices of land have almost multiplied by 10.
So, the population here has made sure that it grows.
All the people who have a little bit of land, it has changed a lot. But here is the little house where I lived for a while when I lived there.
And I was a French teacher through the French embassy when I was there, and it was a very beautiful experience.
Here's a little something extra about Nicholas.
And here, for example, I am in a park and people are playing cricket. It's one of the most famous sports in Pakistan. And above all, Pakistanis are very, very good. I believe they have been world champions several times.
Look, in fact, someone in their ball, a kind of ball a bit like in baseball, and the goal is to hit the ball as far as possible. People are really passionate here, so seeing them have fun is a true baseball experience. And then he throws the ball and their goal is to catch it. They have to go back and forth.
So, I don't know if you know cricket, but I know it's very, very popular.
For example, in New Zealand and England. And Pakistan is one of the best countries in the world.
Precisely, where I play it there, so basically in the yard and yard in its ball, so...
Then, they go back and forth between the points, and normally, the goal is to be able to destroy the little sticks that are behind. This shows a small park. You plan to create a detailed video about the motorcycles from Pakistan seen here. For example, we have no parking, but you see that in fact parking is totally not prohibited there, full of small cars in Pakistan.
In fact, it's really very convenient to have this, and it's called the First Calais, so basically, it's the transport box.
And enough, there are really a lot of them, it's super popular, and you can really see everything. New Toyotas, that's a model we don't have at home, for example, but a lot of motorcycles like that, and in reality, a little bit of all brands.
United, Honda and Yamaha are well-known brands. United is very common, and for Honda, the 70cc models are frequently found.
And bikes a bit like that, with a slightly Dutch style. And it's really very, very common here.
But motorcycles is the most popular thing we could really everywhere in transportation that a lot of people take.
There are many small, colorful cars that can fit 6 to 8 people, often with children. You can see inside, and they're on small scales. Often there are even people who take care of managing these cars who are outside. We can fill the vehicle to maximum capacity. There's a driver in front, 2 seats, and space inside for additional passengers. Up to 8 people. Even sometimes, we see people on the roof, and look, we can see there, for example, a small tuk-tuk. The lake is very well filled.
And the goal is to share as many people as possible. The number of seats. And look, even we can see inside, it's really well filled to the changes.
And all this, of course, without a belt, without anything what? We have those who go up, there are those who go down really everywhere, and basically we can really go up to a lot in there.
We pay a few rupees, around 10 at the time, which is quite inexpensive.
To make his journey, basically, he has his journey. It's basically the direct Hubbard chicken. What I was talking to you about earlier, so someone here on the side at the back, in fact, it's him who collects well, precisely.
The cost varies, and the buses can be so crowded that passengers sit on the roof with their luggage.
I love it. For me, this is real life. We do what we want.
Among the things you absolutely must do here is also to cross a highway. Come on, let's go.
Let's go there.
I'm not the only one who wants to do it.
There, be careful. Is it going to work?
It's quite dangerous. It's perilous. There are motorcycles passing by, cars. Oh, there are people there.
Yes, sometimes you have to push yourself.
Okay. I'm not sure if it's a 4-way, but we need to get there. There are a lot of trucks coming.
Now it's going to be the time. There are motorcycles.
Watch out, motorcycle, 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 car, motorcycle, there, hop, truck, car.
It's good. Okay, one part. On the other hand, it's quite sporty now. I'm going to buy some cakes, as my dad requested.
He always pleases his dad, but wow, I love it. There's really a mix of everything. There, it seems complicated to me.
Will I be able to do it?
At some point you have to take the plunge. Oh my.
Wait for the brief moment of calm.
Oh my, it's getting hot. There's a lot of people.
Is it going to work or not? Do you believe in me? But that's part of the local culture, not dying every day.
There, that doesn't seem too bad to me. No, I'm scared.
Now, you can see a little bit of the type of car there is here, the trucks.
There really are a lot of people there.
And it's like this all the time. There's no pedestrian crossing. It seems to be calming down a bit there. Careful, will I be able to go? People are crossing there more easily.
Do it. Here, people are speeding up. It's going to work.
Some people arrive quite quickly, which can be frightening if you're not used to it. There. Okay, there I'm going. Okazu will be filmed. There I'm going.
Yeah, well now there's a puddle.
We can see that there are a few towers starting to appear, but we can see in the distance.
There are mainly houses, with very few buildings.
A little bit, but it's starting to become a little bit the norm, little by little. Middle social classes who are starting to see apartments a little more than before.
Because in the culture here, it's space for the family, others.
And apartments, it's not very common for us in Europe. Everyone has their own little apartment here. It's really different from most.
In the spirit of family, we stay with the parents and others. And even when we get married, often it's either the man or the woman who goes to the other's parents' house.
And we kept a bit of this family spirit.
It's changing little by little. People are starting to get apartments. You can see there are some, and it's really construction. There are some, it's brand new.
But originally, most people came from small villages. And even in cities, there were fewer buildings than that. But there you go. There were places where it was very concentrated. There were small rooms and such.
Let's not forget that it's a relatively poor country, as evident from the low salaries and general quality of life.
But there is a big part that is starting to make money, though.
And the real estate business here, it's just incredible.
Those who invested a few years ago are doing very, very well now. Well, it's time to go home.
Here at the airport, a few minutes before the flight, I took a ticket with the most terrifying company in the world.
There was a British Broadcasting Corporation investigation at the time, which never returned to France.
They had been banned from French territory because
111 or 112 of their pilots, there aren't that many pilots in the company, didn't have a license. The plane piloting, it was just friends, cousins, stuff like that.
There is a lot of corruption. And it's like, I know my cousin, you can let him through here. A little note. Everything. He had become a pilot like that.
The British Broadcasting Corporation in England reported.
they had been blacklisted because the planes were poorly maintained. I attempted to take this company's flight. Is this the sole direct flight from Paris to Islamabad? Does only this company offer it? On my previous trip, I flew with Saudi, which was excellent. And in addition, as Gold Flying Blue Sky team, I had the right to the Langas and the Sky Priority. That was cool. The chatter. And she's extremely last minute to be able to get in. Because those who haven't followed everything, those who don't follow me on Instagram...
I came because my dad was seriously ill, so I took an emergency flight and now I'm going back to France.
So now, trapped for the return, what I absolutely wanted in a direct flight, it's 8 hours 45 minutes direct, and I hope to arrive. I will always remember the smell there was when I got on that plane, when I was little. During the 8-hour flight there and nearly 9-hour return trip, I was vomiting once per hour. It was quite an extraordinary experience.
I'll attempt a small task for you on the flight.
I think there will always be the smell of 30-year-old biryani chicken, and...
I'm slightly anxious about this particular moment.
Where there is this smell that I hate, and which was a very, very bad memory for me when I came when I was very young.
Anyway, back to Paris, after crazy and perilous adventures.
Quickly.
I might come back one day. It's been years and years since I last visited. Because there are many countries exploring the world.
If you'd like to see more vlogs like this, let me know in the comments.
I would like to go to the United States, the Philippines, Australia, New Zealand, Canada, Mexico, Argentina. There are many countries I would like to visit. I didn't push too hard or show much because that wasn't my intention at all.
But if you're interested, you can put it in the comments. It could be cool, but I'll take you on the plane. You discover a little bit?
Here I am arrived at Charles de Gaulle Airport, so the company is messed up. It's back in France. Well, the service... not great. Terrible. There were screens, but they were no longer working. No movie. 9 hours on a plane, with an additional kid screaming in front. That's it.
The flight went smoothly, without turbulence, and we've arrived safely back in France.
It feels good. It's much cooler anyway. It was there in winter, 20 degrees Celsius. Now it must be 2 and some. We're back at the airport. If you enjoyed this video, give it a thumbs up and consider subscribing. I'll strive to create more content for you. But it will be a little bit more advanced. It will be a little bit more about the car, maybe the history and others. But there you go. See you soon for the next video, guys. Ciao. Indeed, it is a little bit cooler. Well, if you liked the video, but yes, I wanted like that, don't hesitate to subscribe. It's been ages since I've had a Kinder Country. It's delicious. See you in the next videos. Bye. Kisses.